Hey, this is Forte, host of the Forté Effect, the place where technology, creativity, and the future of work meet. Today's conversation is about discipline, longevity, and what it really means to keep moving through every stage in life. I am honored to be joined by a true community pillar, health educator. Go Blazers! She is the first UAB Black Alumni Ambassador and also a strong her honoree. To the Forte Effect.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You proudly call yourself the peach of 63. What does that phrase mean to you? And how has your view of health and purpose evolved over the years?
Well, in 1963, my nickname is Peaches. There is no other Peach of 63. So when I started using that hashtag and putting that phrase out there, I now have people that walk up to me and say, hey, the Peach of 63, even when they can't remember my name, and I love it. I'm not offended by it. I'm a proud 1963 baby. So what you see is what you're going to get.
You've been active a really long time. Now, tell us, what did health mean to you then versus now?
It has become even more important to me as I age. I've always been health advocate. I have been fortunate enough not to have health. I never high school the importance of getting in a walk, the outdoors, the sunshine. It doesn't take vacations. It doesn't matter how much money you have or you don't have. It is something that we all need, something that will take you into doors that money can't. You can be filthy rich or have $3, and guess what? Your health, you can't buy it.
You're right about that, and I appreciate. Now that you started that point, and did you feel behind, or were you right on time?
I've always been active in the gym, more so a gym girl. And my uncle, hey, I bet you I can beat you running. I'm thinking, oh man, please, I got you. He smoked me, gave me that smoke. So he introduced me to running. My very first run, organized run that I did was in Mobile by the name of the Azalea Trail. We went down there, my uncle, my sister, and a friend of his, and I fell in love with. So even at 38, I can run walk you until you can't run walk me no more.
Oh wow, evolved into a competitive runner.
People have different goals. My goal is the half marathon total with my age or exceed it. I'm 62 years old and I'll be 63 this year. So I'm like, I got to get another half marathon in me. Is it going to drive me bananas if I don't? Maybe not, but it may drive me bananas. I'm going to do it. People have different goals. I've done several marathons, but I can tell you, I remember my last marathon when I crossed this line. I'm not going to do this anymore. I used to have in my mind, I ran my first marathon in my 40s. So a half marathon, I'm loving that. My goal is to try to keep that with my age. If I do it, amazing. If I don't, I'm still going to continue to move. So I don't beat myself up anymore about that. I used to be like looking at my watch thinking, oh, I didn't do it. Girl, I'm over that. Something that's coming up and at the end of the month. I had a half marathon schedule, but I got the cold, the crud, had to get on a Z pack. Then I had to look at my overall health and say, do I want this half marathon at the end of the month? Or let me look on the calendar and find the half marathon that I can do somewhere else. Just being smarter about it and not being addicted to my watch and to a calendar, but enjoying it, challenging myself, but not beating myself up.
Wow. Now, I will say that is a really ambitious goal that you have. So you've already done 62 half marathons.
Hmm.
Just want to make sure
Yeah,
for those of us
yeah,
that are keeping up with
yeah.
the numbers out
Yeah, and
there.
I'm gonna say this, thank you, and it sounds impressive, but I'm like, baby, when I was back running in my 30s, people would run a half marathon every weekend. I have a friend, this guy ran a half marathon every weekend. I'm like, boy, you are amazing. So you have these different goals. So when you look at it, it's like, oh, you've done a lot. But when you look at it in a bigger picture, I've been doing it for what, 25, 26 years. So it's not, it's like, oh, it's just being consistent and doing it. So that was like, I'm still moving.
You're right. You're still moving. Another key word is being consistent. And I will say to you and probably the community that you're even more involved in, that still is a big deal because I've only done a couple of half marathons. I think I can count them on one hand, but my funnest and my favorite half marathon was always the Mercedes Marathon because it brought out everybody in Birmingham and throughout the community. So that's one that I actually loved. And I wouldn't dare ask you, do you have one or do you have a favorite memory from a half marathon that you want to share with us?
I'm gonna say it's got to be Mercedes because the Track Shack, Val McLean, Scott, all those people, I don't want to forget someone's name, but all the people who put that on, Kim, all of those people, it is a production. We as the participants, we just think, oh, I want my medal, you better have a water stop. But it's so much involved in that and the logistics. So I tip my hat to them. I participated running or volunteering in a Mercedes every year except for the first year. I was new, didn't know it, but I'm so grateful for that opportunity and that experience of a race on a world stage event. Mercedes was a qualifier for Boston. It has had so many races and so many people have learned from that. I learned from the way they operated, the logistics of it, the business part of it, the giving. A lot of people didn't know they made so many lives change with the Bell Center and always donating. So my favorite, I'm gonna be biased, it's Mercedes. It's homegrown. It's no longer here, but it stands 10 feet tall amongst all the marathons everywhere, anywhere.
Well, I appreciate you for that because that's actually the only marathon that I participated in was Mercedes, and I just kind of felt like that, and I adopted that to say this is the only one that I'm going to participate in. And now that it's no longer here with us, I have to find another one. But I appreciate you for affirming my belief with that. Now I'm gonna go back to something that I've seen you write on social media. You say it frequently, and for those that are not able to see a visual of you, it's even on your shirt. And your message is my health is non negotiable. Sign me. What does that commitment look like in your daily life?
That is a contract I have with myself. That is me putting me on the calendar. We will put everybody and their mama and their auntie on the calendar. We go get our hair done, our nails done. We go to the dentist. We make an appointment with the eye doctor. We'll have meetings in our daily work life, but we won't put ourselves on the calendar. So I got to make a contract and put me first, not out of being selfish, but being out of, I've got to fill my cup. I've got to be my best self. I've got to pour into my health before I can share that with others. So when I'm comfortable with that, and I am, I'm like, no. People will say, "What are you doing?" I'm like, I'm sleep. I'm not going to that. Like what? I'm like, I'm so grateful for understanding the power of sleep, the power of rest. It's those things that are absolutely priceless. And when you talk about someone's health, but I say this with absolutely no shade, you can get it cut, tuck, flip, zipped it up, pull it out, let's snatch it, let's cut it out. But what you can't do, you can't buy health. I can go and buy an unbelievable waistline. But if I'm a diabetic, if I have high blood pressure, if I have some other type of disease, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that I can do cosmetic wise to change that. So health is amazing. It again, you got $2 million. You can't buy away a health condition. You can buy now, you can buy on the outside. I can go get my hair done, nails done, face lifted, tucked, but the inside is what's gonna keep you moving and keep you alive.
That is so true. Now, I want to go and ask you, what does that look like on a day when you don't feel like it? How do you push through?
Well, I still okay, I'm gonna ask you this. Do you brush your teeth every day?
Absolutely.
Okay. So it's a no-brainer for me. So I don't have to get up and run. I don't have to lift weights. I can simply get on the floor and pull out that mat and do some unbelievable stretching, mobility. Just it's amazing how you can just take your body and understand that you don't have to go 900 miles an hour to move. So when you see a discipline like a yoga or Pilates or a Tai Chi or meditation, us in our arrogance think, oh, they're not doing anything. Oh my goodness, everything we do is so powerful. Movement is powerful. Mindful movement is powerful. When you're saying to yourself, I'm going to sit here and just breathe and exhale, being aware of your breath. If I'm going to sit here and touch my toes, some people can't touch their toes. So I'm grateful. Touch your knees. If you can't touch your knees, put your hands on your lap. But being able to stretch, if it's $100 bill on the floor, doggone it, I couldn't pick it up because I couldn't reach, I couldn't touch my toes. So understanding those little bitty things add up to amazing things. And your movement, I don't care if it's balance, flexibility, cardio, strength, and rest. All of those work into every day that you need. You can't even take a walk.
Oh wow. And you brought it home when you asked me the question, do you brush your teeth? So it is embedded, it is ingrained, that is a part of your life. And you
Mhm.
also made it easy for us to digest. It could be something that sounds simple, but it is stretching, going for a walk,
Mhm.
extending your arm over your head.
Mhm.
And then you incorporated a key word that many of us don't get, and that's actually rest. Wow. That that that
You know,
aligns definitely with your shirt even more so.
we need that. And I will tell you, you'll have you, me, a lot of people will say the season is changing. So they're going to get out there in their yard and maybe plant flowers or do something in the yard. And they do that. And then they come back in the house like, oh my gosh, feel like I've been beat by a truck. Did they run anywhere? No, they're just getting up and down, lifting, moving, moving their body and doing things that their body isn't accustomed to. You gotta go out there and you shovel snow. Oh my goodness. Do you know what that is some exertion. You get out
Yeah,
there and you rake leaves. You get out there and you're picking the weeds out of your yard. There are a lot of things that we just like, oh, that's not an activity. Are you kidding me? It is.
it is. And as I listen to you and I see your face, I am reminded that we are speaking across generations because you graduated from what year did you graduate from UAB?
I'm a proud 1986 graduate of the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
All right, 1986. I graduated from UAB in 2001. So we are speaking from 1986 to 2001. But what I've noticed about you is that you also embrace technology. I love your videos, your reels. I love the way that you keep us motivated with a lot of things that you're doing. One of your recent posts, it talked about us being visible versus actually doing the work. So how do you balance posting with simply showing up and doing the work? Like what does that look like? People feel pressure to perform,
Well,
not just live.
yeah, and I think that it's the authenticity of the person. I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm at a point in my life where I used to think, oh, I need to post at least 4 or 5 times a week. I'm no longer thinking that. And when you see me, I'm doing my thing. So whether I post once a week, once a month, everything I do is authentic. It's just like I tell people, don't send a pamphlet, you show up yourself. So when people see me, be it in the store, out wherever, they recognize that I'm truly that person that's living that life. You may see me on a trail, you may need to see me downtown, you may see me on my bike, you may see me at a gym, and understand that when you see me, it is real, it is not a resume. So I don't, we live in a society where social media can make you famous. Okay. We also live in a society where if you're not on social media, people be like, well, who is this person? Right. So there is a balance, but when you are a real individual and you're
Yes.
doing your thing authentically, it's going to resonate with the people. It's like when you see me, you and other people expect to see me and a pair of gym shoes. You're never going to see me. I'm not going to be the girl with stilettos. And that's fine because that's who I am. So if you see me, it's like I got on my t shirt, I got on my sweatshirt, may have on a ball cap. I am living and doing the things that I say that I do. So therefore, it is so. And I don't have to prove it.
Oh yes. That's encouraging to hear that you're actually Not actually, you're really living. And a lot of us have actually gotten away with that. So as we go further about keeping it real, I know in particular when I talk to you, you emphasize keep moving, keep moving. What does keep moving mean to you as we age? And what would you say to someone who feels like it's too late?
Oh my goodness. Let me tell you something. Inhale, exhale. You still breathing, it ain't too late. So let me get you
Okay.
back. Let me get you together here. It's never too late. I don't care if you take it from a perspective of it's never too late to learn anything. It's never too late to give and to receive a good word of your health. So when I say that, I absolutely stand by it because when you wake up and you open up your eyes, again, you have the ability, if nothing else, to accept that today I'm going to give myself the best health that I can. And when you say that to yourself in a mirror, in a car, you're going to do that. We've gone through a lot health wise. I mean, my goodness, you survived COVID. So tell me, are you really thinking that you're going to give up right now? Absolutely not. If someone says, well, I can't even walk around the block. Okay, but can you walk out there on your deck? Can you walk to get your mail? Let's start there. Okay. Your gym membership is outdoors. If
Yes.
you decide that, okay, I can't walk a mile, give me 100 yards.
Yes.
Okay, well, I had surgery. I can't even walk 100 yards. Give me 10.
Wow.
Okay. Give me what you got for a poke chop. I'm just joking.
Hey,
I
yeah,
think,
hi,
I
hey,
think, I,
yeah.
I think there was,
That
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, I like that line in that song. I know
Yeah,
exactly what you're
that
saying.
I'm just saying, give me what you got. And if you don't
Okay.
have it, ask yourself, what do you have?
That's right. And it means that we can meet each other.
Mhm.
We have to start from somewhere and then eventually we'll continue, we'll improve, but
Yeah.
something is always better than not anything.
And with age comes wisdom a lot of times. I'm telling you, I've gotten smarter because I used to be a big dummy. I have to look at my watch. Oh, did I do it? Oh, I went out for a watch and my watch died. Girl, are you serious? Did you complete it? Okay, that's something. You good.
Right.
You're good. You're good.
Yes. So what do you think is the biggest myth that's out there about aging and health? What do you think is the biggest myth?
Well, I think I'm going to say before, I think the biggest myth was at some point you need to slow down, you've retired, take the easy route. So I think we've been sold that let me lay on the beach and have a cocktail or mocktail and live my life like that. So I think that we were sold, I'm going to retire, I'm going to go watch, and I'm just going to live this lazy life. Okay. But then we had a space where we saw a lot of people in all types of generations to start moving because it was something that was so amazing. We were stuck inside. So what are we going to do? So a lot of people recognize if I'm going to beat this COVID or make it out of this, I've got to be a little bit healthier. Okay. So I think that now we have flipped it and we've even gone to the extreme because we say that the new 30 is something and the new 50 is something. So now I think that we have this idea of health should look sexy. And I don't like that because health should look healthy. But
Yes.
now we're starting to sell looks. And that
Yes.
can be that can be a slippery slope, be it you start to compare yourself to the people on social media who have taken 100 pictures to get that one picture. And you think, oh my goodness, look at me. I just finished my run. I just finished working out. And I don't look like that. Okay.
Right.
So you've got to understand and hear me when I say this. No one can see your health, but we all rely on it. No one, everybody can see those new shoes you have on, the cute bodysuit, but I'm talking on the inside. And that's what I need you to focus on. And sometimes we see other people, influencers or models or whatever, and we try to aspire to look like them from the outside, not understanding it's the inside that's going to change all of those things that we want.
You're definitely driving it home as you spoke of that and you mentioned it earlier about our health being on the inside in particular. And there are some things that money cannot buy us. Now, and you're not just talking about it, you're actually still teaching it right now. So, what have you learned as we transition? What have you learned from working with people through AARP who are trying to improve their health later in life?
That there is a segment of people that once they've embraced their age, then they are determined to be the best that they can be. You have some people who are embarrassed to say, I'm 40, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 70. Then you've got these people who are saying, I'm 50 and I'm going to do my first 5K. They take on a whole different persona. So it's very much like a snowflake. Everyone is different. But I found when people in a older population embrace their age, they're not doing it for the cute outfit. They're doing it for true health. It's like and I'm not saying everyone, but if I'm 25 and I'm trying to get, I don't know, trying to go on a cruise, okay? I may I may do some extreme things to look amazing. But if I'm 55, I'm like, I just want to wake up without hurting. And those are two
Right.
different lenses of looking at your health. So as we age, I think it gets more off of the look of what it looks like. And not to say everybody that's 25 is not concerned with their health. Okay. I think that everybody, as we evolve, like I told you, I used to be addicted to my watch. And when I say that, the time, what was my pace, da da da, holding myself to things that really didn't matter at that time in my life. I thought that they did, but as I age, I'm like, a 10-minute walk is amazing. I don't have to run 10 miles, if that makes sense.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. So we both have it established that you are a very proud UAB alum. Now, you mentioned earlier growing up that you had an affection for exercise and health education and being active as a child. But how do you feel your experience at UAB influenced your work in health and community education?
Okay. I met the most amazing instructor, Dr. David Paylor. And when I tell you this man, he was my advisor. And this man, he taught, he lived it. He educated people on what health education was back in the 80s before people knew what health education was. Because people's like, what is that? Are you a social worker? What are you, a PE teacher? What are you? So Dr. David Paylor, an amazing instructor, still to this day, I'm connected with this man. To this day ended up connecting with him. He's come back to UAB a couple of times. This man and his family sends me a Christmas card. So when I tell you he was my instructor, he was a leader, he was an advocate of health, and he still is. And I remember when I launched my brand, I found him and I mailed him a shirt, thinking whatever. He sent me a picture. Tickled me so bad. I mean, I was like, well, that's a full circle. Someone who's taught me, and now I'm teaching others, and now this circle continues to roll. So I knew that I was a health advocate, and UAB gave me the instructions, the blueprint for it, and the credentials to say, yes, you have all these things.
Wow. I was not expecting for you to come up with that one for your experience at UAB, but to know that you're still connected to a professor from UAB. You're saying you graduated in 1986 and it's 2026.
Mhm.
And we do know that in 2021 you were named the first UAB Black Alumni Ambassador. We appreciate you for that. That's legacy. What did that moment mean for you or just your journey throughout UAB? How did that feel?
Well, I think just the fact that someone is acknowledging you and you think of the impact of health. I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an engineer, but all of these disciplines are very important. So to recognize someone it's like, well, what is that? She's not an XYZ, but to understand that community, that advocacy, that's promoting health within my city. I've traveled all over the world, but still, when you think about it, I'm like, I'm right here in Birmingham. I'm still promoting health. I'm still doing the things that I said that I wanted to do 40 years ago. That has not changed.
Wow, 40 years ago. we are in the books, and I'm taking notes. Y'all see, I pulled my pen out on this one because I knew that Jerry was gonna actually bring it. And what I admire about you most is that you don't just do it for yourself. You bring other people. So what's inspired you to bring people together through movement? I don't even want to start to kind of go through some of your events, but I participated in one before, but I know even now you're doing the Turkey Day trot. So, what inspired you to bring people together?
Because what I know is if you can inspire one person, then that one person will inspire another person. So it's this ripple effect. And I know that if I can expose it, it goes beyond teaching. Okay. It's exposure. If you say, oh, I didn't know I could do such and such. You may not have been exposed to it. So exposure and experiences change it. And it goes back to even when my uncle took me to this 10K, 5K, it exposed me to a different audience, a different group. It's like the first time you eat lobster or you eat shrimp, somebody got to tell you about that shell and you're going to eat it. Okay. So it's exposure. It's these things that there's a group of people who may not understand that walking around the block in their neighborhood can change their life. It can improve their health. It's helping you with all of these things. So when you expose someone to it, what happens is they teach you and you teach them because they may have something that they're sharing with you that you didn't even think about. It's like, well, I don't walk around my neighborhood because of XYZ. Oh, let's talk about that. So it's again, it's the experiences and it's the exposure. And that's what makes it an education. That's what makes it, you can't go and just tell someone, you got to be walking 30 minutes a day. You got to be doing this. I'm like, girl, if you don't get out my face, but if you connect with that person, let's walk and talk. You can walk and talk with somebody for 30 minutes. The next thing, guess what? They just completed a 30-minute walk. And it might not have been brisk, but then they realize, okay, this is not so bad. But when you punish people, when you punish people, and exercise has been used as a punishment in our society. You're late, go run. You're this, give me a lap. And that is such, I mean, who wants to be punished?
No one, no one. And I appreciate you. I jotted that down. E square, education and also exposure. I will say from the I think I participated, it was maybe 5K at the junction. To me,
Hmm.
it was like a family reunion because I saw like everybody from the city that was there at your event. And it was, you work with a great team, good collaborations. And before we close out, I definitely want you to maybe go through some of those other events you kind of helped pull together, even if you've exited. I think that's important because you brought so many people along the way, and you didn't forget community. And
Hmm.
someone else that you didn't forget is your family. You did something very powerful recently during Black History Month. I checked you out a little bit. You recognize 28, I mean, every day you recognize 28 of your own family members. So how has your family legacy shaped your commitment to service?
I think that you've got to know it, and you and doing that commitment to Black History Month. A lot of times we shy away from the good, the bad, the ugly. But I decided there are a lot of amazing people, but each of us have people in our lives and our families that are amazing, that have done things that you may or may not know about. And to educate, I'm going to educate the community on my family. And not only did I do that, my family was therefore informed on things that they really didn't know. So I've been doing that research and decided in honor of Black History Month, two things are going to happen. I'm going to, for every day, I'm going to acknowledge an ancestor. And I personally am going to wear my natural hair for the whole month of February. I've always been a weave girl, and I'm a weave girl because let me be crystal clear. I'm lazy. Let me be crystal clear. It's not because I need long hair, short hair. I'm lazy. I am lazy when it comes to my head. Okay.
Okay.
And I said, for Black History Month, not only will I do that, I'm going to wear my natural hair for the whole month of February. And in doing that, guess what? I fell in love with my scalp. I was like, wait a minute, I kind of like this. Some days it doesn't look perfect, but the thing of it is, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is me in my natural state. My hair is very cool. My ancestors' hair were very cool. And I thought if they did it, I can too. So those commitments, that right there is saying, this is who I am. These are my experiences, not to take away from anyone's experiences or anyone's ethnicity. But if I can share my family with you, then maybe you will see the humanity in these people. Okay. Because a lot of times when we can find the connection, when we can find the humanity, and in doing that, I had people, I connected with some people who are my family that I didn't even know.
Oh wow. That is beautiful. It's encouraging to see that you actually knew so much about your family. So you engaged in storytelling and you enlightened all of us. Now, I will say this is what caught my attention. I In the city of Birmingham, we have a very active mayor. So I was happening to be on social media and I saw it on Mayor Randall Woodsfin's post that you were recognized as a strong her woman. Congratulations. And what did that mean to you? Because that's big.
Well, let me first of all say thank you. And I'm going to laugh because when they reached out to me, the mayor, his staff, when they reached out to me, the lady said to me, this year, she told me about Strong Her. I was familiar with it. She says, she said, I don't think you're going to qualify because we are honoring women. You have to be age 60 and older by like January the 15th or something. I said, girl, I got you. And we laughed. She was like, because they didn't think that I met that. That was the one criteria. They were honoring this year what they were calling what they called the Golden Girl series. So
Yes.
again, you have to be age 60 and older. And they didn't think that I qualified. I was like, well, I thank y'all. Let me send y'all some flowers or something. So that wasn't that in itself is an honor to be recognized with so many women who sometimes, again, we live in a society where new, young, fresh, flash, that's the thing. So for the city to honor women who are age 60 and older was, I mean, it's amazing. So I'm grateful.
Oh, yes. Now, as we think about, and we're sitting here during Women's History Month, and with your recent recognition for all the work that you've been doing 40 plus years, what do you hope the next generation of women learn from your journey?
I hope that they learn that their passion and their voice is their gift. Okay. You don't have to, and I'm one of these weirdos. I believe, it's just me. I believe that every single person has gifts. Okay. Now, the trick is to figure out what it is. Okay. And sometimes that's the hardest thing. It's like you have a gift to do XYZ and no one forces you to do it. You can do it like the drop of a hat. So we all have gifts. And it may be something that you think is nothing because it's so natural to you. So I want the women to understand that your gift is there to serve people. It has a purpose. So don't be embarrassed by it. Don't shy away from it. If you are the best XYZ, you are the best XYZ. Nobody can do it like you. And that is a gift that you should be sharing and giving people exposure and experiences to that. It's like the person who makes unbelievable whatever. It's like that's your gift. That is a talent. It's you. Period. I think a lot of times we think that it has to be something amazing, like I'm gonna say a LeBron James, who is an amazing man. Okay,
Right.
but we all have a talent. We all have a gift. It's like you have it. You,
That's
you
right.
have it. Yeah. And that is a purpose that you must then provide experiences and exposure of that gift to others. And that's how that gift grows.
Oh wow. That is beautiful. And you have eloquently and authentically shared your gift and your talents here on this actual episode on the Forte Effect. Now, before I move into what I'm gonna call my little bonus question for you, Is there anything that you feel that I might have missed in conversing with you, or the audience should know? I wouldn't dare try to mention all the community events, but I know you're also an ambassador. You've done a lot of different things in the community, so maybe you could kind of take us through a rapid fire of a few of them if you feel like it.
Okay, I would say I've been an advocate of health. I've worked with grants. I was the vision of Black people run, bike, and swim. And that
Yes.
is something that people like, what? And why did you name it that? What? I'm like, because we need to be seen. That can be a sticky word, that can be a hot potato word. But I'm like, no, I need you to understand that we need to be seen. I need you to understand that Black people drown at a 67% higher rate than any other ethnicity. So I'm not going to ignore that. I need to get these kids in swimming lessons. I don't need them to become swim competitor, but if something happens, I need them to survive, because you may hear of a child was in a drowning situation and next thing a whole family. There is a reason behind that, and that's because unfortunately we are not in places and spaces where we have access to that. So being open and being candid about it and saying the reasons as to why and addressing it. And it's the elephant in the room. Open the curtain.
Oh, wow. Black people run, bike, and swim over the years, but I never knew that was one of the major tenets in the vision. That is startling to hear about drowning. And even when we think about recently things that have been in the news and rip currents and drowning, and but
Mhm,
swimming,
mhm,
just I did not know that. So I
mhm.
appreciate
Yeah, there is a higher percentage. And when I say that, it's not to it's just to be real, to say this is what it is.
wow. Now, and before we close, what do you think is one simple thing, just one, that someone can start doing today to take their health more seriously?
I'm going to give you something that you're probably not expecting.
Okay.
Okay. Getting yourself 7 to 8 hours of sleep. I know you was expecting me to say start walking 30 minutes a day, but you may not have tennis shoes. But what you can do is get your sleep. You can get your rest. That is just as important as anything else. All those things work together. Eating right, getting your exercise, getting your cardio, getting your strength. But if you run 5 miles a day, eat 1,500 calories, get 40 grams of protein, but you sleep in 3 hours a night, we gonna read about you.
Oh,
Cause your health ain't about that's not, you see what I'm saying? It's like, oh my goodness, 10% body fat, but your insides are screaming, your blood pressure, things like that. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna need you to get that sleep. Oh, I can do it off 4 or 5 hours. Okay, keep doing that. Okay, we gonna read about you.
oh wow. You're right. I was not expecting that answer. I really wasn't. But now that is the simplest form. That is the simplest thing that we can do. And I want to repeat that. You recommended getting our sleep 7 to 8 hours. So
Mhm.
what I think is interesting tonight is that on one of your Black History posts, you shared something about your father, and he was proud that his peaches was at UAB. That girl is smart, and I'm honored that I met you throughout UAB, even though we were definitely quite a few, maybe a few years apart, but just from an active community standpoint, and your love and admiration for UAB did not subside over the years. And that is a strong reason to say go Blazers. But it makes me think even more of UAB's slogan, that one of my favorite slogans of UAB was knowledge that will change your world. And
Mhm.
from listening to you over 40 years of experience, you are definitely a face for that campaign. I think they should bring it back again. And I'm going to recommend it to UAB, because what you've done during this episode has, you've explained it, you've brought it to where we can understand it, and you made us think more, even so, about our inside instead of just not the outside. And then the most basic thing that we all can do is make sure that we actually get enough rest. And that's with our sleep. So
Yeah.
it's not too late for us to start moving. And what we've learned from Jerri Haslem is that my health is not negotiable. And here on the Forte Effect, we believe this: reinvention is not starting over, it's moving forward. No matter
Mm,
your age, no matter your season, you still have the ability to choose your next step. This is Forte, and this is the Forte Effect. Thank you, Jerri.
thank you.